My wife is upset that only 85% of her kids can read proficiently.
What grade again?
Second. But she taught kindergarten last year, and when her kindergartners went to first grade, they were great. They were all reading. So then they moved her from the kindergarten class about 3 weeks into the class into second grade. And she got these second graders, and she was like, only 3 of them can read. And she was like, she's all thrown back, like, this can't happen. So by the time they took the first test, they were in really good shape. They were above the average. By the time they took their second proficiency test, they were all above average. So they thought that she cheated. So the school board came in there and had them take a test with, the school board watching everything my wife did, and the kids scored higher on the retest.
Alright, we're going to have to talk. I'm sorry, we got to talk afterwards because I didn't have your 3-digit code. That was the reason why it wasn't processed. It's not on the card in the front. Alright, go ahead, Vince.
Okay, so now she just found out they're moving her to the 5th grade.
If you can, if not,
let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Down, down, down.
Let me tell you, it's in the air. Joy is in the air. Love is in the air. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Don't sleep on it, brother. You might get left, sister. Can you feel it? What it feel like? Freedom. What it feel like? Justice. No need to be counted, cause I am down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down for the end of racism, for the end of bigotry, cause I am down. For the end of misogyny, that's right. For all the isms out there, just down, down, down. Let's bring it down. Rise up, people. No more foolishness, and let's bring it way down.
Riding the river of change into the cries of contrition. This is the way that we bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. We are the children of Eden, dancing and celebrating freedom. We are the ones that must bring it down. Down, down, 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 down. So gather the faithful. Tell everyone to stand and shout loud, shout loud, shout loud. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down, down. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it way down. Let's bring it down. We've got to bring it down, down. Stand up and shout, stand up and shout, rise together.
Accountability starts now. The Eric Dawson Radio Show.
Yeah. Rise up, stand up, shout it loud.
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up.
There we are. Good morning, everybody. Sound is on, right? Welcome to another episode of the Eric Dawson Radio Show. We have Diana Murray Clements on the line, and we've got Vincent Squire on the line, although his phone is muted because he's braising oxtails as we speak.
So he says.
Good
morning, Eric.
I know, Diana. I know. It's all suspect, right?
It's all suspect.
Yes, let the hate begin early this morning.
But he's braising. You're braising them, and you said a red wine. Something going on, Vincent?
Yes, a nice little red wine, touch of vinegar to it, give it that kick. I've got some jalapenos, habaneros. We've got green peppers, red peppers, onions, and garlic chopped in there, and of course fresh rosemary, thyme, and oregano. So I'm hoping this is going to be the bomb.
Hey, listen, Diane, I can't wait till this whole COVID-19 thing is over, and we can get a studio with a kitchen, right? Almost like a Rachel Ray kind of setup, right? Where you got the kitchen over there, and you got the studio over here. We sit and we talk a little bit, then we go over to the kitchen and we cook, right? That's gonna be a blast.
But man, listen, sounds so fattening. We're gonna need an exercise corner too.
Well, we could do that. Maybe get like a Richard Simmons or somebody like that in to talk to us.
We'll get Peloton to sponsor us, and then we have a Peloton in there.
Wouldn't that be something?
Oh man, that would be fabulous. See, speak it into existence. We need at least a minimum 2, because I'm not sharing.
All right. So the evolution of the show is going to.
So we need 3, because I'm not getting in the Fat Boy Club.
Well, we haven't officially let you on as a host yet. We haven't had the meeting. So right now,
I don't know.
We're still teetering.
Listen, I'm gonna separate them in the corners, but I'm gonna put gloves on them because we're gonna let them go. But listen, the evolution of the show, could be fantastic, right? Have that component, have this other thing. So we're thinking about some stuff, but we got to get through this COVID-19 thing. Listen, yesterday, before we get into heavier stuff, I was talking about my my chicken coop, my goat, my rifle, and Amina's rifle too. Don't want to leave her out. Be like Grandma Mobley, right? On the front porch in a rocker. But I was talking about my neighbor who is raising pigeons. And so I was out in the back having a cup of coffee. It's cold out there. And he was out with his pigeons. So I went over and I said, hey, Curtis, I said, I did the show yesterday, and he listens to the show. He missed it yesterday. I said, I was talking about, poaching your pigeons if it came down to it. And, he started laughing, but I wasn't. And so it got a little tense because he was laughing, and then it went to
Yeah.
I'm still looking at him like what? But anyway, I asked him about raising pigeons, the whole thing, and it was fascinating. I mean, I sent you guys the link. I'm gonna post it in the thread for anybody who's interested. But it dates back to like the days of the Pharaoh. Right, and with something like that, and how they use pigeons, but he was
1100 AD.
Yeah,
But were they using pigeons for traveling?
No, they
delivering
were using
messages.
Messages.
They were messengers, right? So they would attach notes to the to the little ankles of the pigeons. They had fancy designer anklets right around their ankles, and they would send them off. And they were very effective, Diane. But so we were talking about that, and so he was telling me about their racing, and so I asked him, I said, well, how do they race? And he said, well, what we do is, he said he just finished a 500-mile race with his pigeon. And so,
whoa, 500 miles, that's here past North Carolina, to North Carolina?
Right. And so now I'm thinking you let them out and they flew there, right? Because that's how we would race, right? We have a starting line and we have a finish point. What they do is they drive them to the finish point, and then they got to race back home, right? Because they're coming back home. So they drive.
Well, that makes sense because they wouldn't actually know where they were going,
Exactly.
But they know where they came from.
They know where they came from, right? So now I'm sitting there, and I had to go pour my second cup of coffee. So I'm listening to the conversation. I'm like, okay, so, and he said, we don't know how they know, but they know how to get back home. 500 miles, even in a place that they've never been before. They know how they figure it out.
That's crazy.
Isn't that bananas?
That's crazy.
And so,
because literally, I just Googled it. It's 470 miles from New Jersey to North Carolina. Yep.
Hey, Diane, I need a GPS.
Wow.
I
keep from getting lost?
Yes.
By the way, they found out how they know how to get back.
How?
Birds, especially pigeons, homing pigeons, have an increased level of iron ore right between the center of their beaks and their brain. So they remember where they are, and then their body gets centered in position to going directly to, if you take them someplace else, going back directly to that starting point.
Wait a minute. So 500 miles away, right? So they're in North Carolina. So you take a pigeon
down at the on the coast at the beach.
Right. So you take a pigeon that's never been to North Carolina, right? From Bloomfield, New Jersey. Vincent, I need you to mute. But you take a pigeon from North Carolina, from Bloomfield, New Jersey to North Carolina. They've never been there. You're not flying them there. You're in a car. You're driving.
Mm-hmm.
So however high up
they're in cages.
So they've got no orientation right now, right? As you're driving, however you get to North Carolina, you get there and then you release them. I want you to understand that. So now you release them in a place that they've never been before. They've never made the flight back to Bloomfield. And how are you saying that they do it, Vincent?
They do have orientation. Remember we talked about that iron ore in the center of between their brain and beak? That's magnetic attraction. Same thing like with pilots, they tend to develop more of a sense of north and south because you also find that men have a larger content of iron in them than women.
So you're saying that because of their makeup, they have a built-in compass.
Compass, correct.
All right, I got to research that because when I talked to Curtis said they didn't know. So
Curtis didn't know.
Well, so
Curtis is the one raising them and racing them, but he don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
So Curtis, well, like I said, I don't know. I'm listening to it. I got to do some more research. But. And that may be true, and if it is, that's fascinating. So he does these races. So he said to me that when I see him releasing them here, he's just allowing them to exercise and work out. Much like you go to the park and work out, right? Because they can't stay in the coop. Please mute your phone. They can't stay in the cages all day and then be expected on the weekend to go fly 500 miles, right? So they gotta get their workout on. And so he said, so when you see them doing that, that's what they're doing. So I said, well, how do you get them to come back? I said, because if you had me trapped in there all day, I'd come back. He said, well, Eric, he said, they're not like the pigeons you see out there in the street. He said, these are domesticated. He said, much like your dog, right? You can train your dog that you can open the door, let him out, and the dog will come back because the dog doesn't realize that that the home that you've created for him is imprisonment. They don't see it that way, right? That's their home. And they come back to it, and they come back because they know that they're going to be fed, that they're going to be cared for, they're going to be all those things, and they develop this attachment. He said the same thing with the pigeons. Dude, I'm telling you, Diane, I was fascinated just listening
Is that the same thing with like grown kids that live in your house? The more you feed them, the more they just
That's
stay.
why they
Stop
keep coming
feeding them
back.
and cut them loose.
Diane, that's why no matter how much you open the door and push them out, they come back because they know they can get fed, they know they get cared for, right? Yeah, so that's exactly. So your children are like pigeons. But here's the kicker.
Look, I just one more. You drop them off to California to college, but they still come back.
Yeah, and they know how to get back down.
And they know how to get back any way possible.
Diane, they don't know how to get to the
and they bring laundry.
Diane, they don't know how to get to the corner store, but they know how to get back home. Isn't that something? Oh, God.
Oh, man,
But listen,
that is
here's the
hilarious.
last part of my story. And this is why, and I text Diane this morning. Vincent, you didn't get the text, but I said, look, the hell with my chickens, the hell with the goat. I'm not eating pigeons. I'm going to start raising them. Did you know he told me that somebody in Europe had a pigeon farm and was raising and racing pigeons. It's huge over there. Big money, like horse racing over here. The guy ultimately sold off all of his pigeon stock, $20 million. I said, what?
Wow.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Diane,
I started doing the calculation.
I said, wait a minute. They're worth more live than they are fried. So I said, wait a minute. You mean I could raise these pigeons and make some money? He said, yeah, we race them for money. I said, okay, wait a minute. This is some, and this is why I say it's always about exposure, people. Because you look at these pigeons and, our kids chase them away, right? We call them rats with wings. We do all those things. But there are people in Europe who are wealthy because of these pigeons.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I said, Curtis, how did you get into the pigeon stuff? He said, well, I had cousins and whatever who, raised. And
What's his nationality? Is he from the islands?
He is. You know what? When I have my conversation, what's that show that used to be on Diane where the guy was on the other side of the fence and they would have conversations every night?
Oh, that was I know you're talking about. What was it?
Tool time, 10 to 2 a man turn.
That's right.
Yeah, that was.
So when I do my tool
Wilson.
time with him tomorrow, I'll ask him where he hails from. But he said it wasn't his family that got him into it. He's only been doing this for 4.5 years. He said he happened to be watching the Mike Tyson documentary. Mike Tyson.
God, when he was doing it.
Right. And he said, and then it took him back to his family doing it, but it was what jarred him was Mike Tyson. And then he said, wow, I didn't realize that, raising and racing pigeons and doing all that stuff was huge in the tri-state area, up here. And that's what got him into it. Yeah.
I had a neighbor that raised pigeons, and they ended up calling the health department and shutting them down. I didn't have any problem because they stayed in his yard. They would never, like you said, they never came into my yard, never had a problem, never seen droppings, nothing. I was good with it. I said, as long as they stay over there, I'm fine.
By the way, I had to make a retraction. The show was not called Tool Time. It was called Home Improvement.
Home Improvement. Okay.
In case the fact checker could just get on me today.
Uh-oh. All right. Listen, if they're focusing on that after we just gave all this information about pigeons, and what are we going to do? But, so I have redirected my focus now. And I'm going to spend some time. I may go under, pardon the horrible pun, I may go under Curtis's wing and learn about pigeon racing.
Why don't you just invest in it so you don't have to raise them and do all of that?
No, listen, I will. See, this is in the age of COVID-19, right? We got to learn new skills, right? So I'm going to...
but there's some skills you should not be crossing over. So you're talking about peach cobbler and pigeons. Peach cobbler, I'm good.
No.
One or the other, Eric, one or the other.
Hey, listen, they both have peas, Diane. I'm in the same. so pigeon poaching by day, peach cobbler by night. I don't know.
Oh God.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I got to do a cost benefit analysis.
I know.
I mean, I don't know if at some point I can sell Grandma Emma's for $20 million.
Mm.
But if
well,
I
you
raise,
could. How much the famous Amos sold that chocolate chip cookie for? He only had the cookie, one cookie.
no, well,
when he
famous
originally
Amos sold, he
started.
sold more than the cookie. He gave. Okay, listen. He gave up more than the cookie, didn't he? He gave
Oh well, yeah. He gave up the whole rest. He lost everything.
He gave up the whole kit and caboodle.
He got a bad deal.
He got a bad deal.
Well,
yes, he did. But anyway, I do. I want to learn more about this. I'm inquisitive. You know, I really don't think that I'll be over there cleaning his pigeon coops and stuff like that. But I certainly will have more conversations with Curtis to find out. And for any of you guys who are interested in learning more about pigeon racing and stuff, I'll post a link somewhere in the thread later on today. So here we go.
sounds good.
So Walmart, in the age of this pandemic, where small businesses are shuttering, they're closing, your neighborhood store never to be seen again, broke, bankrupt. They're still waiting for PPP. They're not getting it. You down with PPP?
You know me.
The government said you don't know me, so I ain't sending it. But Walmart employed 235,000 new employees
Across the country.
across the country. So
That's a good thing.
well, it's a good thing and a bad thing.
Well, what's the bad part?
Well, the bad part is this. Well, there are two bad things, right? It just strengthens Walmart, right? And so
well, it has to be. Some company has to be strengthened.
well, but this is part of the problem, right? We're trying to balance out the scale. The scale right now is that the small man is getting the crappy end of the stick. And so now you have a system that's feeding something that we see as inherently bad. We need small businesses in our community to survive. But as these small businesses are failing, right, because of no fault of their own, the ones who are able to succeed will just gobble up the other little small ones at some point, right? They'll all wind up going away. These neighborhoods will be left vulnerable, right? Because the backbone of the community are these small businesses. So these communities will be left vulnerable. These big businesses will just continue to thrive. And Diane, the other thing is the wages. We keep talking about underemployment, right? The wages that you're getting at Walmart don't allow you to live any meaningful existence. Right. And so,
well, we just talked about several different issues. So, one, people need jobs, so they're providing jobs. Two, the wages are not comparable where they should be, but minimum wage has been a fight in each individual state, and each individual state has done something different. So, if the individual states don't pull together and make it a federal mandate that Walmart has minimum wage as well as other companies, then they'll continue to do what the state allows them to do. So they're not going outside of the law. They're just winning because the law is working for them and not against them.
right.
And then you talk about small businesses. There's some small businesses that need to close. And some of them need to thrive and they need to do better and they need to pivot and figure out how to work together with other businesses to grow. But because of the what's going on, no, it's not their fault. But do you not allow another business to grow because it has access as opposed to another business, small business that doesn't have access? If you want equity in it, then you have to have government come in between the middle to create economic equity for the small and the large businesses.
Right. But that's not
But
happening.
then you also have to look at Walmart is one of the sustainable corporations that their supermarkets employ 70% of the local farmers to handle their produce. They also have shelves by local and small businesses, giving them more exposure, like your peach cobbler could be an actual item at Walmart.
But wait a minute. But see, you got it. But Walmart is the devil. Too.
Walmart's not the devil.
No, I know. Well, I'm gonna.
Is Walmart the devil or the Walmart?
No,
what
I'm
is
gonna.
the Walton family the devils? Which one is it?
The way Walmart is constructed, they're the devil, and I'm gonna explain to you why.
So are they different? Is this construction or how they work any different than Target?
Yes, because of how large they are, and I'm gonna tell you what they do. Because I was in retail for a long time in my career. Walmart demands that if you're going to have your product in there, they demand that your overall revenue for your brand. So let's say the peach cobbler, right? If Walmart strikes a deal with me and allows me to put my product in their 6,000 or whatever stores that they have, they look and say, well, okay, what is your projected revenue? And let's say my projected revenue was going to be $2 million. They would say that they want to represent half of that revenue. Now, explain to you what that means. Vincent, you probably already know, right? So now Walmart says, we want to represent $1 million of your total earnings. Now, what does that mean? That means they have my company by the cojones. Because as I gear up, right, to be able to fulfill Walmart's orders, right? If Walmart, for any reason, said, we don't want to do business with you anymore. If my business was geared up to do $2 million and they pull a rug from under me by pulling half of my revenue, I'm done. So I have I can't negotiate. There are a lot of businesses that don't go to Walmart because of that.
So
and then what Walmart does, and go further,
cooperative negotiations. What would they call that? Because
that's called hostage and slave.
Yeah, no, because that is not a bad formula.
No.
Because they're making money off of it. It's just a bad formula for people who are coming into it. So why not take that same formula and smaller businesses or other businesses do the same thing, or in this way, so they can anchor their businesses to do better. So the philosophy itself of the business is not bad. It's just if you're trying to work with them.
Well, see, the philosophy of the business, and the reason Walmart says that is because they have a huge demand. So they want to be 50% of your business because now you are a level of priority with them. So it increases their service.
That's not why they do it. But no, that's not why they do it. They do it because they want to control it. That's why they do it. And then what Walmart? What I'm doing is I'm giving you exactly what happened when we flew to Bentonville and met with 23 of their buyers, right? So I'm not speaking hypothetically about what takes place at Walmart. I'm talking about we flew down there for 3 days, met with 23 of their buyers when I was working for a venture capital group representing 76 companies globally. Right, we met with 23 buyers across many different categories. And what we concluded from all of those meetings is that at the end of the day, Walmart wants to have you by the cojones. They also, because of them controlling that, so there's a lure, right? The lure is if you get into Walmart, you got it, right? On one hand, you look and go, I'm set because I'm in 6,700 stores. All right, so like for instance, we had what they call a clip strip when I was working in for housewares. We had a clip strip. Those are those vertical plastic things you see hanging, and then they hang measuring cups or they hang the you know what I'm talking about, right, Diane? That's called a clip strip. So if you don't get shelf space, what these stores have developed is other ways for you to have your merchandise in there. We had these cupcake liners, right? Little stupid cupcake liners. We brokered a $2 million deal with Walmart on cupcake liners, right? In a clip strip program. So
the clip strip would hang wherever the baking products or baking products, whether it was the containers or the food or whatever.
We had them where the baking products were, and then
where the pots or the pans or stuff like that.
Any complimentary item that would make you think about baking cups, we would have the clip strips hanging there, right? So hold on. Caller, please hold. What'd you say, Diane? I'm sorry. Diane? I'm not sure. Diane? All right. So I'm gonna ask you guys to call back. My phone is acting wacky right now. So Diane, Vincent, I'm gonna ask you guys to both call back and then call back. Something got jammed up in the phone line. But the clip strip program. All right, go ahead, Diane. I'm sorry.
No. I said go ahead. I was always wondering just why it was hanging in a particular place.
Yeah.
And I could always go right to that place and find it.
Right, because
but it wasn't on a shelf. You know what I'm saying? Next to those products.
Mm-hmm. So that's why.
Okay.
So what they do, and I don't want to get too detailed in it, but stores, they value space different, right? So shelf space, refrigerator space, freezer space, they are, all that square footage represents a certain amount of revenue that store is projecting to take in. So once they fill all that, they have what they call cap programs. So when you walk to the front of an aisle, you'll have what's called a PDQ, and there'll be product there even before you go down the aisle. It's in like a cardboard kind of design thing. So all of those different spaces they've learned how to use, and then ultimately even when you get to the counter, point of purchase, they got stuff there. So all of those are different programs that you go into the store trying to get your product in, right? So either, you want to be in a PDQ and a cap, you want to be in a clip strip program, you want to be on shelf, and then now you have to show, sales history that says to the buyer, listen, what you currently have there, you might be making, $3 million a year on, but here's my sales history on this product. And if you put this there, replacing it, you'll see an additional $4 million in revenue. And now the buyer may give you a test in a couple of stores. And if it works out, you sell through, they'll keep moving. But Walmart, what happens with Walmart is they dictate everything about your business, right? It's kind of like the mob. Right? Like once you create a partnership with them, they just they take over and then they bleed you out. And that's why a lot of businesses choose not to do business with them. They force you in some instances, which is why they're able to offer the low prices they do. They force you to drive your price down, right? And the lure again is volume. Right, so you're going to do a lot of volume, Eric. So you may want this price point, but if you don't have Walmart's distribution channel, right, of 6,700 stores, I'm not sure if they're really 67, however many they are, 6,700. But you immediately, once you sign this contract with us, we're putting behind your brand our massive distribution network, right? And so you got to look at it, and I'm telling you, as attractive as it may sound to some people, when they start looking at the fine print of it, it doesn't work out.
Well,
and then beyond that, the devil, because
you from taking your 50% that's not with them to other marketing.
Well, it requires you to do
other
more
distribution
work.
companies.
Right. So it requires you to do more work. Right. So you have to now say, well, okay, if I'm not going to get that distribution channel. What other distribution channels are out there? Amazon has one now, right, where you could post your product on Amazon, right, and you can sell it through their marketplace.
Amazon,
right?
Depending on what the product is, Bed Bath & Beyond, right. Target, or something like that. So why would that? So again, why would that deal be so bad if you did, I don't know, a 5-year deal with them based on that for 50%, but your other 50% you're distributing to multiple other distribution companies.
Well,
and then after the 5 years, you pull out because now you got recognition and people are not at Walmart looking for you. They're somewhere else.
Well, then you also have to look at if Walmart is handling 50% of your distribution.
What's going on with your phone, Vincent? Vincent.
Yeah?
Yeah, now you're better. Go ahead.
Okay, if Walmart is actually handling 50% of your distribution, that means that your product is always available for them at a regular base or a level of reliability with them than there are in other hubs that you may find.
Right, but aside from it being available to them, they're controlling you, right? Think about being in a relationship like that. How devastating that is. It's like any other business when they say, whether your finances or other kinds of things you want to diversify, right? The level of diversification when you've already locked into 50% over here, right? It leaves your company vulnerable. right?
Well, actually, at 50% locked in at this as a startup business or as a startup business, 50% locked up with them at a low value, you're still making more money than you ever actually imagined at a particular time, which, as Diane said, putting a timeline on there, say 3 to 5 years, that gives you some actual time to plan the expansion of your business and separate yourself from Walmart.
Listen, I'm telling you, on the books it sounds great, right? But Walmart has returns. They have all kinds of other things, right? So if their product, they don't buy the product outright from you. So let's say you have a product on their shelf and that product doesn't move. Guess what they do with that product? They return it to you. They return it to you. So now 50% of your business, 50% goes out to Walmart, right? So you go and you purchase all of this stuff and you're looking at that revenue coming back in. Now, I can negotiate because some of the other places that I'm sending it to, Diane, are smaller, inventing smaller businesses. So I'll say to you, for instance, no, there are no returns. So you buy it, you own it, right?
Gotcha,
and now you make a decision about that.
Okay.
And so now I can calculate that 50% of my business is being revenue, right? Is out the door.
So basically what you're saying is Walmart is basically just a holding warehouse. That's basically what they are.
Well, Walmart is in a win-win situation. They never want to lose. So if they don't sell it, you get it back. And now what happens to it? Now you got to figure out where you thought, so for instance, again, say you $2 million, 1 million is going out diversified to these other businesses. But then that other million is going out to Walmart. But Walmart returns half of that 1 million back to you. You now have a $500,000 back that you thought you had revenue on, and you now have to figure out how to get that out someplace else. And Walmart says, hey, you're good.
I got you. So Dre Senrod said it. That was the word I was looking for. Consortium. So why don't the smaller retailers get together and create a consortium with the same type of concept that what Walmart is doing?
Well, some do,
right now. I'm saying right now in the time in which we're in now, to help pull together so this way that they can continue to make money and build. So say for instance, we took all of the retail clothing stores or all of the stores within a strip mall that were selling the same various types of products and create a consortium to do something similar to that with their buyers.
You can. I mean, but you can do it. It's difficult, right? It requires organization. And in the end, stores like Walmart and then work their way through the rest of the retailers, Target and all of the other ones, right? They have the high ground. So they're in a better position to be able to break up any such consortium that might want to be started simply because the lure is so great that the idea of doing the work to build a consortium versus what Vincent said, which is, hey, look, I could just go right over to Walmart, take my product, and I'm going to make more money than I ever made. Not realizing that in the end, all you're doing is feeding that beast, right?
So basically what they're doing is, and said, Webster said, Walmart is treating their shelf space like real estate.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what they all do. They all do.
That's what they all do.
Yeah, that's what they do. Call or go.
Gotcha.
Diane, if you create a consortium with your essential business competition, then what is the point? You're making it easier for them. So
think about it.
Small businesses. Well, listen, I get you. Like we just got with the beauty supplies. I used to have.
That's what I was getting ready to say with the beauty industry.
Right. So a couple of us got together because the major suppliers wouldn't supply us as smaller individuals, and we were black-owned beauty supplies, and they just weren't doing business with us. Like, they were putting us through crazy requirements. So what we did, we came together and said, okay, instead of me ordering my $1,000 worth, you your $1,000, we're all going to get together, and we were ordering like $6,000 or $7,000. But now they would build the orders, and then we would all just have to come together and get what was ours, like from the one destination. Problem with that is, that's cool because we all had our individual territory, right? But where our locations are. But if you're a small peak cobbler guy, right, you want your peach cobbler in, 100 stores, right? 1,000 stores throughout the country.
Yeah,
So,
thank you. Not 100.
You're right. You want 6,700 ones, right? So the point is that what ends up happening is it's because if your product doesn't have the territory where that's yours, having a consortium would be like saying to your competition, you might have a better a marketing plan or a better product, whatever it might be, right? That now you're giving them the same price as you. You're making it just as easy for them to take themselves bigger than you and one day be the Walmart of the consortium. Like that's why
that's
you won't have a consortium with that.
But see, Farrakhan, that's the small, I see as a small way of thinking, because I always look at it and I always go back to this example when you talk about burgers. McDonald's, White Castle, Burger King, whatever the burger company is, when you go to various different areas, you always see them clustered together because people want their burgers different. Yeah, because they've already, right? Because they have
McDonald's is not going to buy their burgers, right? McDonald's will not buy their burgers from the same guy that Wendy's is. Right? They're not going to sit there and say, let's come together and buy our meat together. Right? They're not going to do that because that makes it easier for the other guy. So, yeah, they will post up across the street from each other and go for a price war and an advertising war and see who wins. That's what they do. McDonald's comes up with their slogan. Wendy's will come up with their "Where's the beef" slogan. I can't remember what McDonald's slogan was back in the day. Right? That's how they do it.
Right. What they do is
not only will McDonald's not buy from every beef manufacturer, but McDonald's are specific in what farmers grow their lettuce.
Right. But so and
their potatoes.
Right.
Right. Same thing. Right. I mean, if you get a contract to do McDonald's potatoes, right, for their fries, so they want a certain potato grown a certain way, and so forth, so that they can have the yield that they need to have to keep their price the way it is. That's just what happens when you get large. Right? Large companies are going to do it like that. Huge corporations do it like that. They buy them out. Right? So the bigger they are, the more they're going to put restrictions on people. And that's just how it goes.
And so
I'm
now,
going to sit back and listen.
right, and which is why I say Walmart is the devil, because the larger they get, the more restrictions they put on. And the more restrictions that they put on, because at the end of the day, it's all about increasing near bottom line, right? So some of the restrictions that they put on not only are to the vendors, I don't know why my phone keeps, every time I try to take the call, yeah, Diane, I'm not sure why the, hold on, let's, thanks, guys. Bear with me. Bear with me. Vincent?
I'm here.
Yeah, see, so I'm not sure what the software is doing. It's not allowing me.
Why dropped, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so for Walmart again, and a partial win for how many thousand people that'll get jobs now?
Well, 235,000. But here's the other piece of what Walmart what's happening, right? Because the salaries, right? So not only do they control things over on this end, but then over here, so you got 235,000 people who, for all intents and purposes, are underemployed, right? In terms of what they make.
So what do we do about that?
Well, you need more competition in the end, right? But to Farrakhan's point, as they get bigger, they put more restrictions on. They limit the ability for people to be competitive. And so when you look and say, well, is Walmart helping or hurting in the long run if you're talking about some equitability, right? So Walmart's making all this money. You got billionaires throughout their entire family. Great for them. But then they're offering these wages that don't allow people to be able to live a life of dignity in some respects, right? They need a second job. They need they're living in low income areas, and all that comes with those low income areas in terms of environmental racism and other kinds of things, right? Failing poor schools and blah blah blah. We go on and on. So now you say, well. So Walmart now, they hired 235,000 people who now are now in those environments. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so now for a business like me who wants to pay a wage to an employee that can, live decently, well, I can't compete with Walmart. Right? And so in this space, what's happening is those businesses that were paying and taking care of their employees better than Walmart are out of business, and Walmart is gobbling up those employees to now work for them for a whole lot less. Call or go.
Good morning, Eric. How you doing? This is your brother, Mr. Thing. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing, Diana? Good morning,
Vincent.
Just listening to the show. Good morning, Vincent.
What you got to say? What you say? Is Walmart the devil too?
I would say to small businesses, Walmart has hurt us. To the entrepreneurs in our community, Walmart has definitely hurt us. But as consumers, it has helped the consumer who seeks the cheapest price for something. But there's the devil in this whole situation is understanding the benefit of patronizing small businesses in your community. Because if we do that, right, and maybe pay that 30 cents more, 35 cents more, and patronize the local businesses in our community will thrive more than what it is right now.
But that's why I say Walmart's the devil, because they lure you, right? Exactly what Amir said, right? So you and to Dr. Wright, when Dr. Wright called, he said, see, we're not communal thinkers, right? We're individualistic. So it's like, I can get that for cheaper. But if somebody tries to explain to you, well, you know what, if you pay 35 cents more, it would build up our community. That person says, hey, I don't care about that. I can get it for 35 cents cheaper. And so Walmart, being the devil, is on that shoulder going, yeah, get it for 35 cents cheaper. And then people go and buy it for 35 cents cheaper. And then when they look at their community crumbling, they don't make the connection.
But then how did
Walmart? That's Walmart and Amazon.
Yes.
All of those big name companies, right? What they do is, and here's the blindness in our community, and when it comes to economics that they don't understand. You're willing to pay a premium fee passively just to be spoiled to get your package 24 hours or
convenience.
Just to do that. Convenience, right? You're willing to spend $14, $18, whatever it is a month passively, instead of putting that money in your local community, where you can go to the corner store, or you can go around the corner, or someone in your community. Because I guarantee you this, and I've built my business on this. When customers need me, right, I'm there for them. 2 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the afternoon when they're stuck or need help or whatever. Those large corporations will not do that. They will not be there for you when your children need you, or stuck on the road, or those things, those certain situations where you need more than just a cheap price.
Absolutely. That's very
there are large. You can't say that in general, because there are large corporations that give back. Amazon gives back over $40 million in scholarships. Walmart gives back millions in scholarships.
No, we're not saying they don't give back, but I think what they're saying is they're giving back, so that's great. However, over the long haul, they're still underpaying people for the employment that they're providing.
They're paying people minimum wage.
And minimum wage, you can't work.
Right, but so here lies the issue.
And that's true, but it's not Walmart's. I mean, look, I pay my people above minimum wage because that's me. And there are other companies in New Jersey that pay above minimum wage, and that's true too. But not everybody across the board does that, especially the larger groups like Amazon and Walmart.
Right? No, we understand that, but here lies the issue. So look at where we are now. People, because of underemployment, they are dealing with food insecurities. They're dealing with housing insecurities, right? They're dealing with healthcare insecurity. So we know paying a minimum wage or people being underemployed lead to all of these things. Yet you have a company that proudly says, hey, we enlisted another 235,000 people into those circumstances. That's what happened, right?
They have the money to do better. They have the money to do better.
Yes, they do. But keep in mind that Walmart is not this is not a communism where the actual corporation is ran by the government. Walmart is a corporation.
No, I'm not saying that they're breaking any laws.
What I'm saying, I'm saying is that are they wrong for making money and using the laws
Look, I'm not disputing that, right? So it has nothing to do with them, with the laws and with us being a communist country or any of those things. All I'm saying is this. I'm not applauding Walmart. I'm acknowledging the damage that they do. And that's how I started this, by saying, look, they're the devil. Now, we can't kick them out. I mean, well, the government can't kick them out, but we have to acknowledge, like Amir said, look, we have to acknowledge the damage we do when we decide, you know what, I'm going to bypass this local business, which I don't identify as being a backbone to the health and well-being of my community. I'm going to bypass them. I'm going to go to this larger business that is trying desperately to kill off this smaller business, and I'm going to put my money over there. We have to acknowledge that.
Of course. And they do that. The death of every main street in America, it begins with the word Walmart. No doubt about it. But yet it's a situation where, okay, and we're right, they're not breaking any laws, and they are using and manipulating the laws to work in their favor. But then at some point in time, it's up to the community, to the consumer to say that, okay, if I'm going to spend my dollar, then I'm going to spend my dollar in my neighborhood where it's now being recycled and going here and there. And this is Joe who always gives my kid an extra piece of candy, and Mark who gave my kid a summer job, or this other guy who helps pay my kids tuition now they're in college. Or do we go to Walmart where they say, okay, great job, who's next? But that's strongly up to the consumer or the neighborhood and what they do. Now, a lot of neighborhoods are banding together against not opening up Walmarts in their neighborhood, against fighting, for less corporate space in their streets and more residential and Main Street small businesses. And yes, they are doing that. But the fact that Walmart is doing it and winning, I can't hate them for it.
No. See, I think you're injecting word. I'm not saying hate them for it. I'm just saying recognize who they are. Recognize what's happening. And then if you are looking at your community, you're looking at these businesses shutter, right? So right now, in this space right now, Vincent, we've talked about small businesses that have not been able to get loans, that 50% or the second largest business in or employer is restaurants. And a lot of them are shuttering. Those restaurants, a lot of them are in our communities where some of our neighbors and friends worked, right? And a lot of those owners might have been like you, Vincent, where they were paying higher than minimum wage, understanding that their staff needed to live a quality, or at the very least, a life with dignity. Right now, those people are looking for jobs. You've got a company like Walmart who says, listen, I'm willing to scoop up a desperate person who needs a job, right? Because all of these things are shuttering. And then because we as consumers are more interested in our own personal stuff, we go and we say, hey, listen, we're going to go to Walmart because I can get this cheaper. I'm going to go here. I'm going to order on Amazon like Amir said, and I'm going to pay the premium because I can get it next day. And so that business never gets a chance to reopen because we're not going to move any money there. And Walmart just continues to tip the scales of having more underemployed people, more people in this America that's built, in my opinion, on an outdated philosophy of capitalism. And then those people are now struggling, right? They're struggling in terms of food. They're struggling in terms of housing. They're struggling in terms of education. They're struggling in terms of healthcare. And Amazon and Walmart are just continuing to feed that beast of struggle.
Well, on the flip
add
side,
Target on the list too.
Yeah, well, on the flip side, we do have some people that are trying to help small businesses. Magic Johnson is offering $100 million in loans to minority-owned businesses left out of the PPP loan plan, and he's distributing the money through the Small Business Administration. What are your thoughts on that, Eric?
Well, so I want to know the terms of the loan.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I'm gonna start there. You look. The devil is in the details.
Is in the details.
Is in the details, right? So the devil always dangles a shiny object, right? And at first glance, we want to jump to it. And then sometimes we don't realize that we're jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. And so you got desperate people now. And I'm not trying to lay this on Magic Johnson. I hope that the brother's doing it with the real intent of trying to help these small businesses. But he's also a businessman, right? So he's not just going to give his $100 million away. So he wants something for it. I just want to know, because they didn't put that in the headline, what Magic Johnson wants for his $100 million.
So I'll tell you. So the CEO of Magic Johnson Enterprises collaborated with MBE Capital Partners to offer $100 million in loans to minority and women-owned businesses hurt by the stay-at-home orders due to COVID-19. The loans were funded through Johnson's Equitrust life insurance company and will be provided through the SBA Payment Protection Program. What they say is that financially this will help, and the funds are looking to help at least 100,000 businesses in urban communities. Applicants are vetted using the SBA guidelines. The application process is now simplified, making it easier to qualify for these loans. They said that there was a ton of money left on the table. In fact, this morning there was a CVS. The CEO from CVS was on, and he talked about how they received hundreds of millions of dollars from this PPP loan process program, and they were returning the money. What he said was he never went after or solicited the money, which I don't believe to be true, because they weren't just giving it to you. You had to fill out an application to get it.
It's true. Yes, it's true, because he's a health service.
Right, but you still had to complete an application to receive it, because otherwise they're not just saying, "Oh, we just writing a check to them," as they didn't do it to other local, other larger pharmacies. But anyway, so this is what he's doing with that money, and that's what he says it's supposed to help at least 100,000 different small businesses.
Okay.
But again, they're using the guidelines of the SBA.
Okay, we got a caller. Caller, go. I don't know where they went. Hello?
Yeah, how are you? I was calling in to give a testimony about Carry Bars.
Okay.
Are you still accepting testimonies about that?
Well, we were talking about I guess you could, a testimony, or I don't.
Well, I guess my experience with it.
Yeah. Well, have you been listening to the show?
Well, I'm actually calling out of California.
Oh, okay.
And I have an affiliate that's a part of Care Bars that's on your show, I do believe.
Yeah, he's.
This is Adrian. This is the person that registered me, Eric.
No, I got it. But you kind of broke into a segment where we were talking about Magic Johnson giving $100 million.
That's okay.
No,
it's okay.
Hold on.
It's
No,
small
that's
business.
cool.
We talk about small businesses.
Yeah. Okay. So last week we were talking about folks sharing with us their personal experience with Carrot Bars. So let's start this in case we have people who this is their first time joining the show. Explain what Karatbars are. All right, so explain that whole thing, and then you can give us your personal experience.
Okay, well, what Karatbars is actually a saving platform for individuals to save in actual physical gold. And we do have a platform where people can get involved with trading cryptocurrency as far as KBCs and then Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then some other coins. And we're supposed to be getting more coins within our blockchain. So basically, our sole purpose is to help people save a part of all they earn. And I don't know if you heard the concept before of part of all you earn is yours to keep. And this comes from a book. I don't know if you heard the book, but it's a classic book, which is the Rich Man in Babylon. And what this did for me from reading that book when I saw Karatbars, and I was in another company before then, and I was a nutritional company, and I decided from that point, when I looked in my back office from the nutritional product, I would have rather had gold in my storage instead of having products, goods, and services that I can't finish using. And then thinking about that, I was looking at the fact that gold would be a better vehicle for me in order to create wealth, generational wealth. And then what really struck me with this is that no one ever told me growing up that gold was real money, gold and silver. And then another thing, when I started looking at the people around me and seeing family members who are getting up in age, realizing that they can't retire because they didn't plan it appropriately. So this is a vehicle to help me do that as far as planning appropriately so that money will be working for me and other people that I help within this business.
Okay. Diane, you got questions?
Sure. So you talked about why you wanted to do Karatbars. What drew you to this as opposed to maybe, I don't know, buying stocks and bonds or buying stocks for gold? What was the difference between that actually made you want to do this?
Okay, well, I still do. I do stocks and I do gold, but I do realize that there is no risk in gold, and there is risk within stocks. So I kind of diversify. I make sure that I have a little bit of everything. So I do stocks, gold, and then I also do cryptocurrencies. But I know for a safe haven, gold in itself has no risk.
Owning gold.
Okay, so when I'm talking about gold, I'm not talking about ETFs. I'm talking about physical gold.
That's what I'm saying. Owning gold.
Yes.
Okay.
So owning by the troy ounce has no risk.
Vincent, something's your phone.
Okay. How about that? Can you hear me now?
Got you.
Sure. Okay, so you're saying that there's no risk in owning gold by the troy ounce? Well, what we do is we have it by smaller increments. So we have our increments from 1/10 of a gram all the way to 6 grams. So since I've been in Karatbars, I haven't had a loss in physical gold at all as far as the value is concerned. And then the other portion about this is it's actually a business, which gives me tax deductions in my savings, and people don't realize that the gold that I have shipped to me, I can use it as part of my advertisement because I can show my clients what they're getting, and it actually gives me a tax deduction as a result of that, and I can claim that when I put my receipts in. Well, actually, if you have a business, there are lots of things that you can claim. Yes, I know, but I'm just saying specifically to the gold. But I understand that there are a lot more. But how many people have 460 plus deductions for small businesses? Right, I understand. Gold. So how much is gold a gram now? Right now, I'm not looking at the spot price right now, but I know there's a range depends on where you get it from. You can get it from about probably $50 to $70 or $70. But a lot of these businesses right now don't even have them in stock because of the crisis that we're under.
Okay. So, let me ask you a question. So, so you do diversify, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about during this segment is in terms of financial literacy. You look at I want to ask you this question because you are you invest or not in you save. You save, right? So I'm trying to get the language down, right? So you're not investing, you're saving in gold, right? And then you're investing. I'm correct in saying you're saving? So your strategy is saving in gold and investing in all these other vehicles. So whether it's the stock market or whether it's in real estate, those are all investments. But your savings is in gold, right? So
yeah. And can I add to that?
Yeah.
And then with the business itself gives us leverage for the people that we help actually start their own home-based businesses.
Right.
And then they're actually saving and helping other people save. We're using leverage also to help produce a passive income. Leverage or multi-level marketing. And that's where, it's pretty much the same structure, but we're actually e-commerce. We use the same structure. We are e-commerce.
So you're
using e-commerce to be a multi-level marketing.
Wait.
I think you're kind of sticking to. You're trying to make. No. What I'm saying is that
Vincent, I don't want to get into an argument. Vincent, I'm gonna hang up on you. I don't want to get into an arguing thing.
I'm not getting into an argument. I'm just making it clear what I'm saying to him.
Sir, can you explain the difference between the two?
Well, I can give you a comparison. And the comparison is we're just like Amazon, where they have an affiliate program where people, they actually can help sell products, business, services, and earn an income. And then by referring others, they get an actual residual income from that also.
Okay, because I just want to make sure. I'm just, again, for me, this is all educational, and I have evolved a little bit in my understanding of it. So if it is a vehicle that you can, so my biggest concern is whether or not it's something that's harmful. I know I got another call. I'm gonna take this call and I'm gonna ask him to hold on. Give me a second. Caller, I just brought you on, but please hold. I want to kind of get through this thought. So my first concern is that it's not something that's harmful, that it's something that can be helpful, right?
Yes, it is.
And then beyond that, how to do it smartly. So if the idea is how do I save, and what is the best vehicle to save, and what you're saying is that there's no risk in saving here, right? Then, so now let me ask you a question from what percentage of money should the listener be looking at, and then what formula would you suggest if you're saying, okay, you should be saving, you should be investing, you should be doing all of these different things. What percentage should be invested? What percentage should be saved? And how do we derive at those percentages?
Well, let me first start off with the fact that I'm not a financial advisor.
Okay.
So,
well, how do you do it?
I'm only giving you my opinion.
No.
And this is based on my experience and from what I've learned in my past.
No, I appreciate that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and say where I get my information from, and which I'm trying to stick by on a daily basis is where the richest man in Babylon states that I should. A part of all I earn is mine to keep, and that percentage is 10%. So I try my best to do as much as 10% of every dollar that I earn.
You save.
In order to put away, to save, and to employ so that it can create more of its kind.
Got it. Caller, go.
I had a question for the caller. you were just like somebody asked you about the price of gold. Currently, a gram of gold costs $62 at spot. Okay, great. And then you pay. All right. What is the price it costs to purchase carat bars by the gram?
Well, if we're talking about our cash gold, if I'm looking at it, and gold prices change daily, so we're looking around $65 for a gram, and I'm not looking at.
You say, okay, your cash gold, that's a product, I'm assuming, right? Now, if I want a gram, listen, let me, because you went around, you said cash gold. If I want to buy a gram,
hold on, let me help you understand. Let me help you understand, because you're trying to direct things your way. So let me tell you, we have two products. We have a classic gold card, and we have cash gold. Now, with cash gold, that is closely related to the spot price. So when I share people the opportunity to get the gold, and there will not be any argument with the price, cash gold is where I'm sending them to get it. So what I also do is I have an auto save where I save my classic gold. And with my auto save, as long as I'm on auto save, I also put myself in a position where I get free gold as a result of me being on an auto save. And my auto save is not mandatory. It's optional.
Okay. But can you answer the question, how much is it with your company for a gram of gold?
I'm not looking at the price, and I just told you specifically that cash gold is directly linked to the spot price, and it's closer to it. And that's the last time I checked, it was about 60.
But cash gold is the bill, right? Cash gold is the one where they put the gold on the bill, right?
We have it in the bill. We have it also embedded in cards. So right now, what you're doing is not really paying attention to what I'm saying. We have different.
Okay, hold on. So what you're saying is that you put a gram of gold either on a card or in a bill.
I'm sorry, you didn't finish. You didn't let me finish. I'm telling you, we have different increments for anyone to save in gold. We have a tenth of a gram all the way up to 6 grams in cash gold. And it's directly linked to the spot price.
And we were asking you directly, since you have a tenth of a gram all the way up to 6 grams, how much is it for 1 gram?
So what I'm trying to. So what are we trying to? What are we?
I understand what you're saying, but I'm not. When I called, I'm not looking at the screen.
Caller, I understand that.
You don't have to look at it. Let me ask you this.
Right,
let me ask you. Chill out for a second.
I'm gonna.
What was the last price you paid for a gram of gold? If you don't know what the price was right now, what was the last price you paid for a gram of gold?
Wait a minute. Listen. Let me do this. Let me do this. All right. I'm not trying to entrap the caller, right? If there's a specific thing we're trying to get from the caller, let's ask the very specific question.
Can I answer the question, Eric?
We did. We asked him for. We're not trying to trap him.
So,
we just want to know the price for 1 gram.
For what? To what
I
end?
just purchased a gram of gold last week. It was $65.
Right. So, but I'm saying when you ask the question,
$65
to what end are you asking the question? Get to that end. So.
Okay, so what's the question? It's $65 per carat bars using cash gold. What's the next question?
That's so. My thing is, what were you trying to arrive at by asking the question?
We were trying to arrive.
Hold on. No, he's asking me, so let me answer it.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to understand, because when I go to the cash to the website, right?
Right.
It's saying it's like $78 for a gram. So if it's $78 for a gram, to just buy a gram, and I can buy a gram from a gold dealer for $62 plus the price over spot, which is usually about $5, so that's about $67, $68.
Right.
Why would I purchase it for $78?
And that's what so no. So I got that.
So
and
let
so
me answer that
I
got. Let me answer that question.
No, I don't want you to. I want to please. So what I'm saying is simply what? No, I'm in this segment. Seriously, this is ridiculous. So what I'm saying is this. Let's get to the real question.
You're on the outside looking in and giving false information.
So let's get to the caller.
Cash gold, we're referring to.
Caller, please wait. So what I'm saying is this. Here's the question. am I spending more money purchasing my gold through Carrot Bars than doing it somewhere else? That's the question that we're trying to get to, right? So I'm saying just ask
No,
that
the
question.
answer is no. The answer is no.
And then why not?
And this is the platform that I've been trying to teach. And what you don't know is Farrakhan signed up in Carrot Bars and then paid no gold. He didn't tell you that. He's a representative of Carrot Bars. But he said he understands gold but don't own it. So let me explain to you why, because I own a lot of gold and I understand the platform, which is the reason why I say through Carrot Bars. Carrot Bars is the only company in the world, because of the business structure, that you can acquire physical gold and then write it off as a tax benefit.
Right, we've been down that road already.
Regardless, but listen, which means it doesn't cost you anything. There is no gold supplier on earth that you can buy physical, monetary grade gold from and then write it off. If you can't understand,
again, you're not answering his question.
Wait a minute. No. So we've been down.
The benefit is at $78, $80, $90 a gram. If I'm able to write it off and retrieve the money back, what difference does it make?
Okay, so now I got
refund?
you. Now I got you. So wait a minute. Let me stay on this for a second, because I'm trying to. I really am. I want to understand it. So, so are you saying that I may be paying more for gold through Carrot Bars, right? But my net is less because I get to write it off.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you, we have two different products.
Okay.
One of them is closely related to the spot price. And see, what most people don't know is that you can't buy gold from most suppliers without them having advertising. Listen. Because when you go to buy 1 gram, they give you that price and tell you that you have to buy 1 through 9 grams to get that price.
No.
But
I'm trying to ask a third grade question. So my question is this.
Okay.
So when you say I have two products, I want to slow down.
Right.
So you have two products. One you say is closely tied to the stock market. Me as a lay person who doesn't understand any of this, what would be the value of me purchasing that product?
The value is as close as, is the cheapest that you can buy it on the market. But number one. Number two, we have the offer to store the gold for you for free or FedEx it to your front door. Right? That's number two. Number three, you can write this goal off as a business expense if you're a business affiliate. If not, you can still benefit. Listen, you can still benefit from our platform because we're the only company in the world that allows you to save gold in increments of 1/10 of a gram without paying a premium for buying less.
So wait a minute. Let me please. I'm just so the advantages. So if you're so we're talking, I'm interested. I'm looking at the stock market. I'm looking at purchasing gold there. You come to me and you say, here's the product that we have that's aligned to the stock market. The 1, 2, 3 advantages to purchasing it from you is that I get to write it off. 2, I get to buy it in smaller increments. And then 3, what?
No, you can't write it off unless you are an affiliate with it.
Let me finish with what he's saying, and then we can talk about it. I just want to be clear about what I'm hearing first. Go ahead.
Right. So, those are the two. And the third one is, if you're an affiliate and you're purchasing the gold as an affiliate, you can write it off as a business and get that money back. So those 3 things you can't do from any other gold supplier. And one more thing to say. If you're buying gold at the stock market, you're not buying physical gold. You're buying ETF. You will never acquire the physical gold. And there's risk in the ETF because it can go down based on the ethics of the company involved.
So we understand that part already, right? So I understand at least, and hopefully the listeners do too. So I understand it's the difference between owning the physical gold, right, and not owning the physical gold. That, right, that's one very distinct difference, right? And then beyond that, the 3 advantages that you said. One is you're buying it as an affiliate, which gives you the opportunity to write it off.
Yes.
Okay, but that's the caveat.
How much does it cost? How much does it cost to be an affiliate?
It's free.
Okay, so now as an affiliate, I'm buying it as an affiliate. So the advantage is to be a part of this, be a part of Carrot Bars, because now I get to be an affiliate, which gives me an advantage of purchasing it in small increments that you can't do. And even if you do it in the stock market, you're not getting the physical gold, you're saying. You're getting ETFs. But I get physical gold, right? Advantage, one. Two, because I'm an affiliate, I get to get the gold. And then because I'm an affiliate, I get to write it off. Advantage, two. Right? That's what you're saying.
So yep.
Okay. So
and
now,
and the other advantages are you don't pay any fee. There's no broker fee. There's no intermediary fees or that you pay or management fees for someone to manage your ETF account. So
Okay.
all of these things are advantages.
okay. Got
They
it.
are when you use a broker.
Got
in
it.
case
Yep.
you didn't know that.
Got it. So you have no fees. Because you're an affiliate, you get to write it off. And the biggest advantage seems to be that you have physical gold that you're saving. Right?
Yes.
Hold on. Let's see if I can get this caller in. Oh, everybody. Hello?
Can you hear me, Eric?
Now I got
Yes,
you
I'm
back.
here.
I tried to bring another caller in and it didn't work. So now I'm clear on that.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if the listeners are clear, but I'm clear. Now, moving forward, you said you have two products. So we just went over the one, right, which is closely tied to the stock market. What is the other one? And then what are the advantages or disadvantages of the other one? What is the difference between that one and the other one? Is there advantages and disadvantages?
Adrian, you want to take that?
Okay.
Adrian?
Well, with what I do is I always steer people toward the cash gold. But if you're on auto save, I have people do at least 1 gram of the classic gold for a month for
So
their
wait a minute,
savings.
stop for a second, because I want to make sure. So classic gold is what? It's not tied to the
about
stock
the gold
market.
there.
It's what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's actually it's a branding card by Carrot Bars. So it's branded by Carrot Bars, and it's the classic card, and we use that to put that into our auto exchange for our savings. That's if you choose to do it. And what that does is put you in a position to earn free gold also. The
So
classic gold for people who just want, not the classic gold, but the cash gold for people who are just coming in and wanting to get the cash gold that's currently linked to the spot price, I steer them that direction if that's what they want to do.
so cash gold, if you want to be linked to the stock price, if you want to, right? So if you want to be linked to the stock price, cash gold. What's the advantage of being linked to the stock price versus not?
Well,
So, Eric, price.
I said about the,
Hey, let's be real, fellas. It's the price. Cash gold is the one that's linked to the stock price. So if it's $62 a gram, it's going to be the one closest to it. The other one, classic gold, would be the one that's $70-something per gram. That's
Right.
the difference. So the other part is that we have 3 ways to get gold for free through Carrot Bars.
Well, no.
And
I want
what
to.
Adrian-
No,
wait a
we
minute,
can
wait
get
a
to
minute,
that.
wait a minute. Let me give you, I'm
No,
talking
no.
about
But we
that's
can
the
get
gold.
to that.
Come
We
on.
can get. Listen. We can.
That's the part.
Listen.
part.
Listen.
That's
We
the
can.
essential part for you to understand that, because this is what you're not understanding. The classic gold product is a product, a card, a branded card with Carrot Bar's name on it that's used and a loyalty bonus where you can get free gold, right? After 12 months, you can start acquiring free gold from the system.
Okay.
And how do you acquire? See, here's the thing, and maybe Eric can share my level of frustration, is that we would like to get clear on one point before you start throwing
Right,
in
and
another
that's my frustration, guys, because I'm really, like, literally, I'm trying to understand it, but it's like an accordion fold, right? So I think that I got it.
You asked what's the difference.
No,
Because
I'm
that's
asking what the difference
You-
between.
that's
No.
what the
Listen. I'm asking I'm trying to ask a very clear and concise question. So I thought I was clear on the cash gold, right? which is the one that's
Right.
tied to the stock market, and then you gave me the 3 distinct advantages to getting that then versus going to the stock market. I was clear on that. Then you said classic gold, right, which is a separate one. And first I'm asking myself, if so you have 2 products, the first thing I want to know is what is the advantage of taking this product over the other one? Is there a risk to this one that doesn't exist there? Is there a greater yield to this one that doesn't exist over here? Why would I choose one over the other?
Okay. The answer to that question
Right.
is one. The classic gold you can auto save.
Explain what auto. Wait a minute. So let's stop for a second.
Auto.
Go ahead. What is auto save? So I have the
Auto
classic
save,
and I'm auto saving. So what am I doing? What am I actually doing?
Okay, as an affiliate, when you auto save, which means that you get 1 gram of gold saved automatically without you doing anything. That's what auto save means. Just like a savings account in the bank.
Okay, wait, stop for a second. No,
auto-draft.
okay, let's go slowly. So now I sign up and I have the classic package,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's no fee
Right.
for me to do that.
No.
Okay,
It's
so,
optional.
wait a minute. So now I exchange my cash money for a card that has a specific amount or weight of gold on a card, and now this is the classic package, right? So now I have
Right.
that, and then I immediately start to accumulate free gold.
No, after 12 months.
Okay, so I get the
12
card.
months.
I'm waiting 12 months. So I go. All right. So I want to try to. So for people who listen, I got $50 in my hand. I give you $50. I say, Amir, I'm in. I get and I want the classic package. So I'm gonna get gold equal to or whatever the value is for my $50. Now I got this card or however it comes to me, and I leave that sitting on my desk and I do nothing else, and in 12 months I'm starting to get free gold.
No, Eric, listen. You have you're asking and narrowing your question. As an affiliate, we help people save gold. That's the business part. The classic gold is attached to a loyalty program as an affiliate.
Okay.
When you introduce, listen, let me get
ahead.
the whole thought out so you can understand where the free gold comes from.
Okay.
As an affiliate, like any business, when you bring on more customers, it generates more income. So what the company does is profit sharing. So they allow you to earn a portion of the gold that you're helping the company
Got it.
sell.
Got it.
After 12 months.
I got it. You don't have to go further. Let me. So now, see
Okay.
what I try to do is take what you do, and then I try to spit it back out in layman's terms.
Okay.
So now,
Okay.
on the classic side, what I am really doing is developing a business partnership with Carrot Bars, in such that I say, I'm in, give me my card. Now, in order for me to earn, but the card is really just, for all intents and purposes, the value of the gold on that card is equal to the value of the gold on the cash side, right? Your other product. What I'm now really investing in on this side, on the classic side, is saying, hey, I want to get free gold. So for me to get free gold, I have to go out and bring more people in.
Right.
And then I share now in their ability to sign up. And if I can get them to sign up, then I'm making money over here for getting them to sign up. But on the cash side, please mute your phone, whoever that is. On the cash side, I am simply saving gold that is attached to stock market prices. Did I get that right?
Spot is the word. Yes, stock price.
Stock prices. I'm sorry. Stock prices. So I think I got that now. So now if I just want to save gold, so if I bought into the idea that, you know what, gold is stable, right? It's worth saving, not investing, because I understand the difference between investing and savings based on what you're talking about. And so I do want to diversify, and I want to invest in things so that I can get a yield. But then out of what I invest in, if I'm making money, I want to now save it in a stable vehicle, right? But I don't want to sell carrot bars to make additional money. I just want to save gold because I understand the value of saving gold. You're saying then the cash option would be where I would go.
Right. So the part that you don't understand, you understand. You said it right.
I'm trying.
Cash gold also contributes to you getting paid as well. There are over 9 different streams of income in carrot bars from doing 2 things, which is saving gold and helping other people save gold. So there is a financial benefit to saving cash gold as well.
Right.
Just because it's cheaper doesn't mean that it does not have an income benefit to it as well.
Right. So what I'm trying to get to is this, and I think listen, man, I've been hanging in. I've been trying.
You got it, Eric. You almost got it, bro.
So wait a minute. So wait a minute, because I want to try to. So when we talk about gold, we're not just talking about gold. We're talking about so much more than just gold. Because if I'm just saying, you know what, I got this idea of savings, right? I understand fiat currency now. I understand, the dollar being devalued. I got all of that. So you know what? I want to take some of my money, and I want to save it in a vehicle that won't be affected by that. So all of the conversations that we've been having over the last 4 weeks about, gold, physical gold, I got it, right? Light bulb goes on for Eric. I say I want to do this. If that's all I want to do, that's all I want to do. I don't want to be a part of any of the other vehicles or bringing other people in. All I now want to do, because I recognize it, is take a percentage of my money and buy physical gold. Is carrot bars where I want to be now?
Say again, Eric.
Okay. So what I'm asking you is this: if the only thing I want to do is protect my savings, right? I want to protect my savings. So I got some money. I don't want to store it under the mattress because the house may burn down. I don't want to keep it in fiat currency because I understand what you said to me about fiat currency and the devaluing of the dollar. I understand all of the other conversations that you have with me. So I say, okay, I got it, Amir. So I want to take my money and I want to not invest. I want to save gold. So I go and buy gold. Right. And then I buy it in these smaller increments because I can do that. I understand what you said about me buying it through I think you said the cash option, because I don't have to deal with broker's fees, all of that, boom, 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 got it. So I say, give me that. If that's the only thing that I'm interested in doing is saving gold and nothing else, is carrot bars where I want to be?
Absolutely.
So if I'm not interested in the affiliate piece, I'm not interested in anything else, just carrot bars. I mean, just saving gold.
Right.
Is carrot bars the best place for me to go? Or is it the place to go if I'm interested in all of the other things which compiled give me the tax write-offs and give me the other...
There you go.
It would be both.
It would be both. Because no W-2 employee, if you ask a W-2 employee right now, if I can save you 35 to 60% of the taxes that you're paying, and you can't get around it.
No, I'm not disputing that. No, get me. I'm no longer disputing that. I'm no longer disputing that. I'm simply saying, if I don't want that piece of it, that whole other piece that you're getting ready to talk about, right? If the only thing that I'm now into is the fact that you've got me on the idea of saving gold. I get it. And that's all I want to do. Is this the best place for me to just do that?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Got it.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not.
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's right. I'm simply saying I got it. Now,
Right.
I want to have the now that we're there. So let's stay on it. Let's not get on the affiliate side and talk about the W-2s versus the 1099s and the tax write-offs. Now let's stay focused on saving gold. Right? So now, Vincent, you say that that's not the best vehicle just to save gold. And I'm asking you why.
Okay. Checking the market trends today, gold at a gram is now $55, which checking their website, they're selling the grams at $78.
Oh, stop for a second, though. Stop. Are they selling the physical gold? Because that is the conversation now. So I can go there and buy the physical gold.
You can go and buy the physical gold.
For less than what Karat Bars is selling physical gold for?
Correct.
All right, so what's that price, Vincent?
$55.
Okay, so this is where we want facts to supersede. Listen, I want you, Vincent.
Oh God! Why can't you just answer?
Well, listen to me, because I want to expose the fact that knowledge, when you have facts, you have experience, it supersedes theory.
Right.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to buy a gram of gold from any distributor on the internet, and when you check out, your in cost, share that with the people with the group.
Okay.
You know what?
Wait, I don't want to.
I want you to explain
this is
why
going
would
so
I
much better
spend
when I was just talking. Because I'm not trying to argue.
Dealer fee
I'm not trying to
going
argue.
$70+ with you guys.
Listen, I'm not trying to argue. I'm just trying to get the facts. And so you have
Okay,
one
the
person
fact is,
saying.
Eric.
So wait a minute. No, wait a minute. You have one person saying that it. So this confuses me, right? And you have one person saying you can get the gold cheaper here, and the other person saying no, you can't. There can only be one truth. And so what I want to do is this. Nope.
Okay.
What I want to do, Diane. Because Diane's like Switzerland on the show when I have you.
No, I'm not, because I'm annoyed. One, because I already said Vincent annoys me with this, and I think we have to give respect to when people call in to have a conversation about something and to have a meaningful debate, not an attack, Vincent, because that's not helping anybody, and then we get stuck where we have been for so long. And finally, Eric, you got it, but I got it weeks ago. But you know.
Well, like I said, Diane, I'm always willing to admit that I'm slow to get on the bus, but eventually I'll get on it.
You in the back of the bus.
Yeah,
those little short buses that move the slowest.
I'll take all that criticism.
Eric, the price that he's looking at is a spot price, SPOT. You
went out.
And you know, even with the price,
Hey guys, I don't mean to be funny. I'm not out to attack anybody. I've gotten this for the 3 or 4 years since Amir first told me about it. I understand. My position has been, for me, okay, to be an affiliate, promoting it was not my interest. If I wanted to purchase gold, I could figure out how to purchase gold at bullion, okay, straight up gold bullion at a cheaper rate, which is why I never did it. I didn't do it because I didn't understand gold.
Right.
I understand gold clearly. I didn't do it because I understood. Because I do other things. Because I do other things with my money right now. See, and let me explain to you why. Because when you're understanding asset classes, okay, and understanding for myself that I'm not looking for such a. I'm not going to say that the rate of return for gold isn't good enough. But if I'm going to put my money into something that's going to sit for 10 years. Because I'm behind, I'm not going to front. Okay, I'm not as wealthy as I want to be. I have not invested as I like. I would truthfully take a riskier something that produces, which is why I bought Bitcoin.
So
because I wanted something that might. Let me finish. I'll let y'all do all that talking. When you shot shots at me, bro. When you shot shots at me, I didn't even say nothing back. So let me just say that was the truth. It was a shot telling the world what I don't understand or what I'm an affiliate of. And I didn't knock you for that. So don't do that to me.
No, this was
I'ma
Eric.
just speak what I speak.
This wasn't Amir. That was Eric. That it was me that said that.
No, it was Amir.
No.
It was
That just said.
Amir that said
No. That said. That,
No, he's talking about when Amir exposed them for actually being
Quiet,
affiliates.
Vincent, we don't need a meeting.
Yeah, I got it. Listen, guys, I can speak up for myself.
Go ahead,
I don't need no help with it.
2 minutes.
Okay?
Go ahead.
All I'm saying is this. Okay.
Go ahead.
For me, okay, I was interested in a greater return from my investment.
Got it.
Okay, so I would put my money somewhere else currently.
Got it.
Now, when I'm 65 and I want to make some safe money, maybe then I'll pick up some gold.
So what
But
I'm
right
saying
now, at 47, I'm taking shots.
No, I got it.
Right?
Right. So I understand that point.
And what I'm saying to this, cash of buying this carrot bars. Okay, and Vincent, I don't know where you got your numbers from, but today, gold is trading at about $62 per ounce, $63 per ounce. Either way, that's a considerable amount cheaper than purchasing carrot bars gold.
Right. So okay.
Right? So I would not do that.
Right.
It is not financially worth it for me.
So. Right.
Because even if I go, now listen, I understand spot. So if I go above spot, go with all the fees and everything, I'm still going to get a gram of gold from wherever I purchase it at $70 or less.
Right. So here's
the problem. Here's the problem with carrot bars gold. If gold is selling at $62 on the market, and I purchase it at $78 from carrot bars, I can't go to the market and try and get a profit. It won't happen.
Farrakhan.
Because I'm overpaid.
Farrakhan. So here's what I'm saying.
We have two products.
Here's what
we have the crystal, and we also have the classic gold. We're not focusing on classic. We did the dance with the two products.
Hey guys,
now we're at the point of stating if I am just interested in acquiring gold with carrot bar.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying.
So can I finish the point?
Well, all I want to do is this, brother. I think at this point, right? I think that I've gotten the conversation where I want to get it to, which is this: and when I was trying to enter a Farrakhan, it was because he made a very good point, talking about what works for him, right? That everything doesn't fit in one box. Which is why, caller, when I asked you the question, so how do you measure what you do, right? Because everybody's finances, everybody's situation is different. Age ranges are different too, right? So we don't just have 25-year-olds listen to the phone. There's some people who might be 65. And a person who's 65 years old is taking a different strategy than a person who's 25 years old. A person who's 25 can risk more, right? And if they're looking at the markets, and they're looking at the price of gold, they're looking at all those things, they're making decisions about a plethora, based on a plethora of situational things in their own lives. And one of the things that I want to be very, very careful about here, because you guys are specifically, and Amir, you said this last week, you're specifically about carrot bars. And so irrespective of what the individual circumstances might be, you're still saying carrot bars is the only way to go. And I'm concerned that...
You don't know, bro?
No, I never said that. And who was that, Vincent?
No, this is Eric.
All right,
I don't know what happened to Vincent.
I never said that carrot bars was the only way. What I did say is, in the beginning, is that we had two products. I said we have a classic gold, and I said we had a cash
right,
gold.
And then you talked about diversifying.
Can I finish?
Yeah.
All right. So I did say that you have cash gold, which is directly linked to the spot price, which is around $62 to $65.
Right.
And then the other guy keeps going back to the classic gold card. You have an option. And what he said, he just came back on. At first he said it was $54. Then he went, I just checked again, and it was $62. The $62 spot is directly linked to our cash gold. So if people wanted to get cash gold instead of getting classic, they have that option.
No, I understand. Caller, I understand that. And I don't know where Vincent is. Vincent, please call back. What I'm asking you, caller, is this. If the idea is gold, not carrot bars, but gold. I'm saying, are there more? Is there a better option to purchasing gold? Hold on one second. And so, and that's what I'm getting at. So I understand the value as Amir is explaining it to going through Karat bars as the vehicle to saving gold. I'm simply asking if the other side of it, I wasn't interested, which was getting the card, being an affiliate, bringing other people in, and getting free gold. If I'm not interested in that, if I am simply on the side where I'm saying I get the idea of saving gold, my question is Karat bars the only or best option to do it? Is there ever a better option to, because you got me understanding the value of saving gold. I'm simply saying, is Karat bars the best and only way to save gold?
I would say that you can save gold anywhere, but in my opinion, you're asking me my opinion. In my opinion, I would say yes, and this is the reason why. Okay. Because if I'm affiliate and I'm choosing the option of getting the cash gold, which is directly linked to spot price, if I'm an affiliate, if someone sees what I'm doing and they want to do it themselves, I can accidentally make income because then I'm an affiliate and not just a customer. But that's the benefit of making sure that so the guy in the background, oh my God, that's a problem with one of the things that I'm noticing. I'm here as a guest, and
Vincent, you got to stop that.
Of attack is a problem.
Yeah, it's horrible.
He's not listening.
I agree with
an
you.
open ear.
Yeah.
He's listening. Excuse me. No, I'm sorry. I wasn't attacking. In fact, that's the reason I stayed off, so that you can once again explain your product again or continue with the same circle. And the last thing I said was this. Excuse me, I did let you finish talking. Can I please finish? Before you were cut off, or before your call dropped, you were already on a rant, and your rant call about before my call dropped, all we wanted to go.
All right, guys, listen.
Before my call dropped, all I was saying
brother, I appreciate
is,
the call.
Gentlemen,
Before my call dropped, all I was stating was the same thing we were saying at the beginning of this program. If I just want to buy gold, how much does Karat Bar sell per gram, and why would Karat Bar be better at this price than what the market is at the other price? That's all I've been asking. But we keep going around and around and around.
It was establishing your whole point is sticking to the classic gold price instead of listening to what we just told you about cash gold. And if you're doing it as an affiliate,
right.
If you do not choose to do it as a business, if you do it as an affiliate and you're still saving your gold at the price, the huge issue is that you keep evolving into this circle, and we've already established that we don't want to go with the two options. We've already chosen our one option, and why would your product be better for us with this one option?
Right. That's where I am now. I'm saying we've had the conversation. I've come to some of your meetings. I've done all of that stuff. I get the idea of everything that you're talking about. I just want to save. I just want to now save gold. That's all I want to do. I want to save gold, and I don't want an accordion like fold out of stuff. I'm like, I just want to save gold. And the question that I'm asking is this: if I'm shopping around at the best place to go simply to save gold, where is the best place? And so, and I guess, and so, if I get that you are a representative of Karat Bars, but what I would hope, I'm sorry.
I said I'm a representative of myself, but Karat Bars is just a vehicle that I'm using.
Okay, but wait a minute. But we got to stop for a second here, because if you convince me to do this, you get paid. right? According to what you said to me, that if you convince me to do it on the other side, you get.
And I'm using referral marketing. Yeah.
No, he doesn't get paid. He accidentally
Let me,
makes money.
Vincent, please. I'm sorry, caller, go ahead.
I said I do get paid, but then if I go back to the point of the reason why you would want to choose an affiliate is because if you're choosing not to go ahead and market the product, who's to say that someone doesn't come around and ask you, well, which way are you saving?
No. I'm not arguing that point either. I'm simply saying this. I'm literally, and I hope that you hear the authenticity in my voice. I'm trying to understand it, right?
Okay.
So if I'm having a conversation with you, I want to know that you're talking to me about what's in my best interest, not what's in your best interest if I make a certain decision. And so if I'm coming to you and you benefit from me, you personally benefit from me going down this road, which may not be the best benefit for myself, simply because you get to make money if I make this decision. So when I'm asking the question, I just want to save gold. And if I'm now concerned that you're giving me an answer that will benefit you, may not be the best benefit for me, that becomes problematic for me. So if you're telling me that my answer, that an answer over here is tethered directly to how much money you could make, right? And I'm trying to honestly ask you a question because you've sold me on everything else about fiat currency and all these other kinds of things, and how the security of owning gold is where I need to start to put a percentage of my money. And again, based on my age, right? So I'm 57 years old and I go, okay, you know what? I'm gonna start pulling some of my money out of some of my riskier investments over here. I've made some money, right? I've done all right. And now I'm gonna start saving some gold. And so I'm coming earnestly asking, where should I go? And so my concern becomes, if you are affiliated with this company and you benefit by getting me to do this, is it really in my best benefit? That's the only question I'm asking you. So I just want to know the best place to go to save gold now.
I can go with this because everything is pretty much your choice. I'm just there to give you the information and you just make the decision. I'm not forcing anyone.
No, I'm not asking. I'm not saying you're forcing me. I got to make the decision, right? But I'm coming to you and I'm saying to you, hey, listen, I got some money. I want to buy gold. Where's the best place for me to go? That's it. Where's the best place for me to go?
I can send you to any online dealer. I can send you to any gold broker in your area. Then they'll have to make the decision what will be best for them.
Got it. And so I think that all of this was trying to get around to that. So I understand all of the components now, I think, of carrot bars. And there may be some people who are interested, and I'm not knocking it because I don't know. I haven't fully investigated it. There may be some people who are interested beyond just saving gold in write-offs, in affiliates, in making additional money by bringing some people in. All of those other pieces of it may be of interest to some folks. I'm simply saying that I want to make sure that we're separating it all very clearly so that people who simply want, who understand the security of purchasing gold can make a decision and say that they want to just purchase gold.
That's pretty much what it comes down. I can give you the information, and then you will have to look at that information as you will, and then make your own decision. And then by you going to the other places to see what gold prices are, then you'll be able to make a decision on if it's beneficial for you.
Got it.
I'm just in the room giving you the information and showing you what I'm doing.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Eric, can I ask you a question, Eric? Would you agree that in anything that experience is the best teacher, especially when you made mistakes and then you found something that works best for you and your family? Would you agree that experience is the best teacher?
Well, what I would say is this.
Would you agree to that?
Well, this is what I'm saying. I want to get to what, when you ask me a question, you're trying to get someplace. Let's just get there. So
okay, so what I'm just asking you specifically is in any business that you do, if you have 3, 4, 5 years experience in an industry and someone who doesn't have any experience at all, would you say experience is the best
Right.
teacher?
So what? No, I'm going to answer the question for you. Right. So there are a lot of experienced people out there in various industries, and those people don't necessarily have my best interest at heart. Right. So whatever their motive is, they use their experience maybe to capitalize on my inexperience. And so all I'm trying to get to is this. So yeah, that the most experienced person may be the person I fear the most, right? Because if I'm inexperienced and I don't trust that person, right? So I'm going to that person, I'm saying, look, I have no idea on what it is that I'm getting ready to do. The person says, well, I'm experienced, but now I got to look and go, well, do I trust them? And so when I'm trying to ask very simple questions and go, look, I get all these other things. I'm a simple guy, right? I got some money, right? I was fortunate in these ways. All the other things that we talked about in terms of a place to put my money in terms of saving something, a precious metal, I understand all of that. The history of it, all that stuff. I absorbed all of that. Now I just want to do this thing. So now experience is part of it, but trust becomes another part of it, probably a bigger part, right? Because I want to know that you're going to direct me in a path that is going to be best suitable for what it is I'm trying to accomplish. And so for the listeners on the show who may have money to be able to take a percentage of it and purchase gold, I don't say that that's a bad deal. I agree. You know, it's something that's not going to lose its value. That piece of gold, that if you have that bar, right, it is what it is. But where do you get it from? Is where I am.
The answer to the question, the reason why I asked that is this. I've been doing this. And you know this personally, Eric. Since 2008, 2009, I've sat with you on Bloomfield Avenue in Montclair, and I showed you other precious stones that I was involved in. Is that correct? Remember that?
But right now we're talking about gold. But right now we're talking about gold. We're talking about a vehicle.
The point I'm trying to make.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I just want to always get to the point. Go ahead.
Okay, the point I'm trying to make to you is the majority of the citizens of this country and around the world are poor. The majority. There's not just to reduce it just to gold, because you will be doing an injustice to the people who really need the other components that Carabar's offer.
No, I'm not. Listen, but you missed what I said to you.
I want you to listen.
But you missed what I said to you.
Listen to what I'm saying to you.
Right, but I need you to understand.
The trust factor that I'm entrusted with is to understand the position of the majority of Americans that they're currently in. Taxes is a big part of the problem that we have never been able to overcome. Inflation is another big part of the problem.
But now here we are with the accordion again. I want to stop with that. Right?
It's not an accordion. It's
it
a
is
fact,
no.
Eric.
You know what?
These are the reasons why most of us are poor.
So you know what?
Because of those two reasons. Because we don't understand how to.
Amir, we've already established those points.
All of those points I'm saying, I got them. You don't have to. You don't have to sell and convince me on any of those anymore. I got all of it. So where I am now is this.
When you say if I only wanted to save gold, when you isolate that, right, you negate. And you saying like, this is what I want you to understand. This is all I'm saying to you. This is all I'm saying to you. When you try to take and cherry pick one benefit of Carabar, right, and negate the other one by saying I only want to.
No, I'm not doing that. But I'm not. No, Amir.
Okay.
But I'm not doing that. Right. I'm simply trying to segment it out for a clear understanding. Right. And that's it. So what I said is this: there may be people who want that other piece. And then there may not be. There may be people who simply want to save gold. And so if they're having a conversation and part of the conversation is, hey, here's a way for you to save gold, and then all of the reasons why you should save gold and why you should be fearful of fiat currency, the person says, well, okay, I understand that. But then you say, well, and then here are these other components, and the person gets back to, I just want to save gold. And then the simple question is this the best place if I am just a guy who wants to save, or a woman who wants to save gold? Now, I'm not suggesting that all of these other things in terms of affiliate and tax write-offs and free gold if you bring other people in on the other product. I'm not downplaying any of that. I'm simply saying if the beginning conversation for me, because for me, I wouldn't want those other pieces, right? I don't want to do that other stuff. But I do understand.
Hey, Eric, I don't mean to interrupt you because you mentioned the tax write-off thing. And I just want to say this one thing. As soon as you convert it back to cash, you're going to have to pay those taxes. It's an investment, right? And it's a business. So when you turn the gold back to cash, when you want to use it to spend it, you got to pay those taxes.
Not only do
Those taxes that you write off. Well, when you write it off, yeah. But when you purchase it, but when you go to, you say, I need to use this money again. So if you're saving until you're 65 and you turn 65 and now you need to use some of that gold you saved up, you're going to pay taxes on it.
Right.
And speaking from a person who's done financial planning, wealth management, not only do you pay the taxes on it, but you also pay on the interest that you've made over that time period.
There's no interest on gold. You don't pay on interest on gold. That's the gift.
God,
Jesus
Christ.
You don't pay interest on gold. There's a capital gains tax that you pay if you go
so what do you consider capital gains?
Okay, so listen.
No. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to be quiet.
Just listen to what I'm telling you. If see, this is what you.
Just answer the question.
Interject. This is what you don't interject when you make blanket statements.
Right. So I try to cut to the chase.
If you get 100% of the money back,
I'm here.
If you get 100% of the money back, right, and still keep the gold, mind you still keep the gold. Does it make a difference if you pay any taxes on the money?
Amir. So here's the simple question. Here's the question, right? Because see, I think that what happens is this. I'm figuring some other stuff out, right? Like instead of just teaching and teaching and teaching, sometimes they're listening. So I try to listen and I try to ask questions. So Farrakhan just interjected something. So my question again, as a lay person who's interested in saving gold now, right? Because I understood all these other things. And so I'm like, okay, I get it. If I save gold and then in 10 years, right, I lost this money over here. So I had to go into my actual physical gold and I had to exchange that for cash. Do I have to pay interest or anything that resembles interest?
No, yes, depending on where you liquidate your gold. And see, this is where
just explain that.
There you go. Yes, that was my point. I'm glad he made it for me.
Explain it.
I agree with you, Eric.
Okay.
Depending on where you sell your gold.
What does that mean?
The group economic.
What does that mean?
The group economic portion of what we do. If I have business partners, I've done this for the last 3 years, who've gotten to a spot. They say, you know what, Amir? I need to sell some of my gold. Because Carrot Bars has the only international gold payment system, he can send me his gold electronically, right? From his account to mine. And I can pay him for it. He didn't pay any taxes on that gold. He didn't pay any taxes on the money that he just earned on the difference that he made. See, y'all don't understand that a larger dynamic.
But again, I'm not trying to.
It's a larger dynamic.
Hold up, Amir. You know I love you, but you just said something that's totally wrong. Okay, he might not pay taxes. Okay, he may not pay taxes at that moment, but when he reports, okay, his income, when he shows how he's spending money and his income, when he shows that he sold somebody $20,000 worth of gold, and I don't care if it's purchased through the Carrot Bar system or the Bruce Lee system. It doesn't matter. When he shows that on his IRS tax forms, he's going to owe somebody some money for it. Simple and plain.
All right. So listen, Diane just she just sent a note. We're at 12, so it's 12:03. Look, I got a lot. Listen, I don't know about other people. I got a lot out of this, and you know, I'm not knocking Carrot Bars. I'm just trying to understand it in the bigger scheme. And what I do understand is this, and when I say scheme, I don't mean like, I'm not a derogatory term, in a bigger like picture. What I do understand, and this is, and what's echoing in my head, Amir, is your conversation where you said this is what you do. So I get it. I'm trying to break out of that as a person who simply now is thinking about saving gold. So next week, I think that we'll have some conversation about investment and saving strategies based on age, based on income, based on the market volatility, based on the current circumstances of COVID-19, what people should be doing strategy-wise, which is, and I appreciate the caller calling in and expressing to us how he's doing it, what his methodology is. And then maybe we can expound on that in terms of maybe some ideas for other people in terms of what it is that they should be doing. I do appreciate it. It took a while, and Diane said she got it a couple weeks ago. Farrakhan said he had it a year ago, but Eric is finally on the bus. And according to Vincent, in the back of the bus, but that's okay. I'm on it. And we'll get back to this conversation. Hey, Diane, cut it out.
Lord Jesus, help me.
Pray for me.
I got heartburn.
Keep praying for me. But I'm figuring. And
Eric,
yeah.
Did you see the article that Diane posted?
No, I haven't. I didn't.
About Bitcoin?
No.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about it next week.
We'll say no. It's 2:05. Thank you guys for tuning in.
I just want to say one thing about that article. I want you to ask Robert Kiyosaki, who has about 7,000 rental units, as I understand it, can I pay him in Bitcoin for my rent? You ask him that. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, one thing, you sent me a picture of about 10 books.